Welcome to Khanversations. I'm Muqtada Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about what's happening with the Strait of Hormuz. It appears that the United States and Iran are playing a game of chicken. I'm going to try and explain what's happening using game theory. Game theory is a science of decision making, and it has different formulations according to which decisions are made, particularly in economic sphere and in international relations and other political science disciplines. So the assumption is that two actors are involved in some form of, shall we say, either a conflict or a negotiation, uh, and uh, and the purpose or the game is essentially the game of chicken is a metaphor. So what it really means is that two actors are locked in a situation where they are where making a concession amounts to defeat. So basically, what is going to happen is that either the Iranians will blink or the Americans will blink, and they seem to be stuck in that situation where neither wants to blink at the moment. So in this kind of a game, when you are looking at at a game like this, the situation is fascinating because it's not the capabilities of the actors which really determines the outcome. It is apparently the credibility of the actors. Who is more credible? And they will probably win. And given the fact that Donald Trump has earned the nickname Taco, Trump always chickens out, it is possible that Donald Trump will again chicken out as he did. So, for example, he has been threatening that if the Iranians do not come and accept the deal that he had offered, come to Islamabad for the second round and accept the deal, he was going to bomb Iran, he would destroy their power plants, he would destroy all their bridges, etc. He did not do that. That is, he blinked in that sense, and the Iranians did not blink, and so they won the first round of the game of chicken. So basically, what happens in this chicken game is the one that backs down, the other wins. So, but let's say that it's like the classic game is used is two cars approaching each other. So, so what happens if neither of the two blinks? Then it's absolute disaster, right? If neither of the two wins, it's catastrophic. They have an accident. But if one of them blinks, then it is fine. This one loses face. The one that blinks first loses face. This wins the face, but there's no disaster. But if both were to back down and then both lose their face, but still the outcome is a winning outcome in a sense that neither loses, that there is no disaster like an accident. So it appears that we are heading to a game of chicken. This is how the game of chicken is being played. Donald Trump is saying that unless the a deal is agreed upon, unless the Iranian factions get together and come up with a unified position, a counter offer to the United States, which basically is an acceptance of the proposal that Donald Trump has made. If they don't do that, then, and until that happens, he's not going to lift the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. So he's going to give them 3 to 5 days. This is the latest news. So the ceasefire is not indefinite, as we thought from his first announcement, where he did not give a deadline. So he said, I'm extending the ceasefire, but he did not say until when. And now it appears that it could be 3 or 5 days at the most. So his position is that if you do not agree to a deal, then this blockade will remain. So it is quite possible that Donald Trump does not want to use the kinetic option anymore. He does not want to bomb. He has realized that it's not paying any dividends. Whatever he could achieve militarily, he has achieved. There's a report by the University of Oregon about the severe damage that Iran has suffered as a result of this war. And he said there's not much more it can really do, especially with regards to what the United States want, which is basically the enriched uranium, a commitment from Iran that it will not enrich any more uranium, a commitment from Iran that it will not support Hezbollah and Houthis and others, and a commitment from Iran that it will not blockade Hormuz. None of that is happening. So they are hoping that that will happen only through a dialogue, because America has lots of cards to play. America can offer funds for rebuilding. America can lift sanctions. America can lift partial sanctions. And then America now can also blockade Iran and hurt Iranians' economy indefinitely. So right now, the game of chicken really is, will Iran succumb to this external pressure of the Strait of Hormuz being blocked indefinitely and eventually come to the table? Or is there something else that Iran can do? Because the Iranians are saying that unless the blockade is removed, we will not come to the negotiating table. So that is the scenario. And the reason why Donald Trump really imposed this blockade is because the Iranians did not come. And his reason for that is saying that, look, the Iranians did not come to the negotiations because they are fractured as a result of the decapitation that Israel and the United States did with regards to the Iranian leadership. Their leadership is fractured. They are unable to come to a consensus because the Iranians leadership had to empower the negotiators and tell them that, look, you can go this far in making concessions, and this is the things, these are the red lines that you cannot cross. So those particular instructions that the negotiators, which is the speaker Ghalibaf and the foreign minister Sayyid Abbas Araghchi, the two of them, they could not get their marching orders from the leadership. And that is why there was nothing to negotiate, and so they did not come. Initially, they were ready to come, but it is the IRGC generals who have now basically taken over the country. One of the consequences of Donald Trump's war has been the fact that the moderates in Iran have been sidelined and marginalized or killed. People like Larijani, and now you seem to see that a more hardcore faction, hardliners from IRGC are basically taking. So you have two things going on, that the hardliners inside IRGC are now in charge of IRGC, and IRGC is now becoming more and more powerful and taking over Iran, completely marginalizing others. And with Mujtaba Khamenei, the new Wilayat al-Faqih, in hiding and not very active. So his office is probably taking a backseat to IRGC, as is the traditional military and the parliament and the speaker and the president, etc. So basically what the US has achieved is, it has achieved a kind of a regime change. So it's gone from a very complex government to essentially a military dictatorship right now in Iran, a dictatorship of IRGC. The very institution that the US wanted gone seems to be the institution which is now in power in Iran, unfortunately. So anyway, so this is the game of chicken that is going on. I just wanted to share with you some of the comments that Donald Trump made, and in response, the comments made by the foreign minister and the president of Iran. So Donald Trump, this is his main argument. Iran doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz closed. They want it open so they can make $500 million a day. Which is what they're losing if it remains closed. They only say they want it closed because I have totally blockaded it. So they merely want to save face. People approached me 4 days ago saying, sir, Iran wants to open the strait immediately. But if we do that, there can never be a deal with Iran unless we blow up the rest of the country. So Donald Trump feels that there are only two ways in which he can put pressure on Iran to accept a deal. Either he threatens to kinetic action, that is bomb, 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 or he blockades. So it's either bomb or blockade. These are the only two options that he thinks he has to pressure Iran to ultimately accept the deal. Look, the United States has been pressuring Iran for like 40 years with sanctions and repeated military actions, etc. You know, I think it was in the 80s that the United States destroyed Iranian Navy. So there have been military encounters between the US and Iran even before this. So Iran hasn't changed its policies. They have not achieved the only success that the United States had in achieving some goal was during the JCPOA during the Obama period. And now Donald Trump seems to be completely allergic to the idea of JCPOA, even though I will tell you, if there is a deal, it will look very much like the JCPOA. So that is the thing that Donald Trump said. Then he goes on to say Iran is collapsing financially. They want the Strait of Hormuz open immediately, starving for cash, losing $500 million a day. Apparently, the military and the police in Iran are not getting paid. So, how does the president of Iran respond to the president of the United States? Is absolutely fascinating. He posts a poem. So, Masoud Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, I think he's a medical doctor actually. He posts a poem by Sheikh Sadi, rahmatullah alayhi. Sheikh Sadi is a very, very famous poet. In fact, in one of my books on Islam and good governance, I have used his famous book, Gulistan Bostan, as a basis to articulate the Sufi political philosophy. Anyway, and Sheikh Sadi's one of his poems also hangs in the foyer of the UN Security Council, or the UN building actually in New York. Anyway, this is the poem that Masoud Pezeshkian has posted about 20 hours ago. The realm of Pars harbors no grief from the world's harm, as long as upon it there was, like you, the shadow of God. O Lord, from the wind of turmoil safeguard the soils of Pars, as long as the soil endures and the wind persists. So he has posted the first paragraph of a poem from Sheikh Sadi, which really tells you the state of mind. I mean, they seem to be far more calmer and at peace in spite of this war than Donald Trump, who seems to be more agitated in a state of anxiety, even though he keeps saying that he won. But Abbas Araghchi gave a far more serious response. This is the foreign minister of Iran. He says, blockading Iranian ports is an act of war and thus a violation of the ceasefire. So they are saying that Donald Trump has basically escalated during the ceasefire. He did violate the ceasefire in two levels, one by blockading Iran and then also taking control of Iranian ships. So there were two things that he did. Striking a commercial vessel and taking its crew hostage is an even greater violation. So these are violations by the US. So Iran knows how to neutralize restrictions, how to defend its interests, and how to resist bullying. So they are not backing down, at least. But these are all nearly 20 hours old posts, a day old. So the latest thing is there seems to be complete silence from the Iranian side, which also must be frustrating President Trump. Unfortunately for him, he likes things to move fast, and they are not moving fast enough for him. So we are stuck in a state of chicken. The question is, who blinks first? Will Donald Trump make some concessions which appeal to the Iranians so much that they say, okay, we have a deal now? Or will the Iranians suffering from this economic blockade say, oh my God, we can't bear this pain anymore, let's make a deal and end this thing. But I can tell you this, it's never going to end as long as Israel continues to enjoy America's uncritical and unlimited support. America gives it all the weapons it wants. America gives it all the money it wants. America gives it all the freedom that it wants to break international law. There is no consequences, no accountability to Israel. So Israel will continue to, I think, go after Iran, because Iran is very weak at the moment. It has never been this weak. And at the moment, even the Chinese apparently are not very happy with the way this war is suddenly progressing. They are very upset because the blockade also affects China. So they are putting a lot of pressure on Iran to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. They're also criticizing the United States for blockading. So the Iranians right now must be saying, look, even if we allow the ships to go through, even if we allow the ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz, the Americans are not allowing it. So go figure. So the Chinese do want a deal to happen as soon as possible, I guess. But until then, we will see who plays this chicken. I think that Donald Trump does not have the patience nor the I don't know what quality would you require essentially. The steadfastness that is required to win the game of chicken. And so let's see what happens. The global economy depends on it, and as long as the strait remains blockaded, you can see that the price of oil is going up. Let me just check what the price of oil is at the moment. Yes, it's gone over 100. So the price of oil right now is 101.67. So all those gains that were made, the oil price had gone down to 94. The stock market had gone up. Both are in an inverse relationship right now. Every time you see the oil going up, the US stock market is going down. Of course, there are a lot of rumors here in the United States that Trump and his allies are playing the stock market and making money of this war, and there's enough evidence to show that somebody is definitely short selling and making money. And of course, unfortunately, because the Department of Justice, a lot of American institutions have been rendered useless under this administration, including the Department of Justice and the FBI. Kash Patel is a drunk. Apparently, all he's doing is going after Obama and going back and investigating the elections of 2020 just to keep Trump happy so he can keep that job. Pam Bondi was removed, the Attorney General, because she was not going after Donald Trump. So there's no real investigation going on. But if you had a real Department of Justice, they would surely have investigated as to who are these people who are making money off the war. And surely they must be close enough to Donald Trump to have insider information. But anyway, we will see what really happens. It is quite possible that in a day or two we will hear the Pakistanis are also lobbying very hard for it. Donald Trump acknowledges that it was at the behest of Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif that he decided to extend the ceasefire, and the Iranians are also probably being lobbied hard by the Pakistanis, because Pakistan wants to have the Islamabad Accords signed, Donald Trump coming to Pakistan, and for them it will be a great diplomatic win. So I like I predicted earlier that he would have a ceasefire. Donald Trump has to go to China on the 14th or 15th of May, so he is going to try and make sure that this issue is fully resolved. But if the Strait of Hormuz is blockaded, I don't think Xi Jinping is going to be in a good mood to receive Donald Trump. So we will see how things happen going forward. So anyway, I have one bit of news for those of you who are members of Khanversations. We will be having our Zoom meeting on Sunday at 8 p.m. India time, 7:30 p.m. Pakistan time, and 10:30 a.m. India time. So if you're a member of Khanversations, please join me for this meeting. We will talk about my recent visit to Italy, the meetings that I have, what the European scholars are saying about this war. I had an extended interview with the Vatican. We'll talk about that. So if you go to Khanversations, you can see that you see home, videos, shorts, etc. Click post, and on Friday or Saturday, I will post the link or Zoom link, and that post will be only for members. So it'll say only for members, Zoom link for the Zoom conference. You can become a member. So I have already posted a link to how you can become a member, and you can join us on Sunday. So anyway, thank you for watching Khanversations. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, do subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this video with your socio-political network. Until next time, I'm your host Muqtada Khan. Take care.